a signal report, but clearly readable, and JCF 59+++, whether or not you're using the wrong aerial. But there we go. Not too sure about the AM bit of the net tonight, folks, but I'll give it a try using the KW. Right, pass it on. M0WDT to take Golf Daff, Golf Golf Golf. I've got it as well, Dave, now. Golf 4 Fox Alpha Alpha, over.
Golf 4 Fox Alpha Alpha, Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Tango receiving. Hey, good evening, everybody. Absolutely fantastic signal from you all this evening. Guys, +20, Dave +40, Laurie +10, Dad's about +40, and Mark about +40. Absolutely massive signals. No problem reading any of you above the noise, which is makes a change for this net for me. I've since I've last been on the net, I've made a number of changes. I've moved my shack into the house now, in the shed. First winter operating radios taught me that it's a bit of a deterrent when it's freezing cold outside to actually get out there and get on the radio. So finally bit the bullet and sort of played around with remote operating, but thought that's silly really, isn't it, from just from one end of the garden to the house. So I've just run a length of coax now, and the rig is now in the house, so hopefully you'll be getting on air a lot more frequently now, because it's to hand, for me to just jump on and off, whereas I almost had to plan a visit to the shack beforehand. Also, while I've been doing that, I don't know if you remember when we did the software evening at the club, Sam showed us a piece of computer software that processes the microphone, and I've got that hooked up right now, so I've got no idea what I actually sound like at the moment. If someone could give me an audio report, that would be appreciated, because I've just set the filters kind of where I think it should be. It's with a low at 300 and a high about 2,800, and a little bit of compression, but as I say, it's quite untested. So anyway, with that, I'll pass it on to Dav next. Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Victor from Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Tango.
Yeah, thanks Dave, M0WDT, M0WDV, and your audio is sounding absolutely beautiful. In fact, yours is the best audio, so whatever you've done with that processing software, you've got it set just right. I mean, everybody's loud and clear tonight, but if I had to score people's the quality of the sound, I'd say you've got the award. And so good evening, Guy, Dave, Laurie, Dave and Mark. You're all 5 and 9 plus, and again the award goes to Dave with 5 and 9 plus 40. Actually joint first with Mark, 5 and 9 plus 40. Guy and Dave NRH, you're 5 and 9 plus 30, and Laurie, you're 5 and 9 plus 10. So yeah, lovely strong signals for everybody tonight, which is interesting, isn't it? Because Guy made the comment, I think it was on the reflector, that obviously with it all being in daylight now, it's theoretically not as good. But of course, for the line of sight, it makes no difference, and we're all sort of line of sight, aren't we? So probably won't be able to pick up anybody outside the area tonight. All right, and so passing the microphone now round to Mark. Mike Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. This is Mike 0, Whiskey Delta Victor.
Yeah, M0WDVMR0JCF answering forgotten his name there, and I guy's question. Yeah, it was for May and June. You can use the Romeo in the call sign if you got the NOV, blah blah blah. So I just use it. Tonight, hopefully, it's all working now. I'm using the TS-830S for the LSB section, and for the AM section, I'll have to go to the 7300. Because obviously you don't have AM on this rig. Okay, give out reports. Well, Guy, you're plus 20. Dave NRH, you are plus 40. Guy FAA, sorry, Guy, I'll start again. G4 FAA, Laurie, you're plus 10. Dave M0WDT plus 40, and Dav M0WDV, you're plus 40. Now the meter runs out at 40 dB, plus 40 dB on this radio, and Dave WDT, you were just over that, so short of wrapping the needle round the stop, yeah, you was off the scale. What else can I say? So yeah, it's yeah, what I did was I was doing a bit of sporadic E earlier. I was on 10 meters. Sporadic E come up. I worked 8 different countries, including Iceland. And yeah, CQ10 got me, as I say, 8 different countries, about 22 contacts in just over an hour. Quite a few Italies, Spain, Portugal, Switzerland, Germany, Poland, and going round until I got to Scotland. I actually got an MM3 Gordon up in Scotland. Worked him quite a few times, but he's been around long enough. He's probably got the best antennas, etc. So yeah, you know, had a good old swing around. And as I say, there was a Netherlands. There was a hot Dutch bloke, operating out of Iceland on using the TF call sign or prefix TF/. So anyway, I'm rambling and waffling. So it's the TS-830S. I'm using the MC50 microphone and the AT-230 tuner, and actually on the long wire now. Yeah, I thought it was just a bit weird. I was tuning up, and it tuned up to about an SWR of about 2.5, and I thought, it's not as good as what it normally does, but we go with that. And I could hear Guy, and it was lovely and clear, but just was not moving the needle. And I thought, there's something gone wrong here. I thought, I hope the receiver hasn't busted on this. And anyway, it's then the penny dropped. I was on the wrong antenna. I was on a 10 meter band, 5/8 vertical, rather than a random long wire. So without going on any further than that, I'll hand it round to Guy. To take is G0UKN from MR0JCF.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else want to join the net before I carry on? From Golf 0, Uniform Kilo November. No, all quiet on the Western Front. Well, I would echo what's been said about Dave WDT's audio. It's excellent. Really, really good indeed. So, as somebody else said, whatever you come, keep it like that. Sounds great. It sounds really full and really full of sort of nice sort of BBC quality, as they say. So keep it as is. The 830 sounds nice. Mark, sounds very, very good indeed. They are quite a Rolls Royce. I sort of put those in the same bracket as you know, they're very much a Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. You know, beautifully engineered, and just all work, and a beautifully quiet but very, very sensitive receiver is what I found about them. Still don't like Kenwoods, but if I was going to have a Kenwood, it would be one of those. I know where that one came from before Martin had it. So if you'd like the history of who bought it new, I'll drop you an email. What have I been doing radio-wise? I bought a few months ago, I bought a KW2000 single valve original. Well, it's the Mark II of the original KW2000. So just a single 6146 in the PA, slightly less deep case, and it was the worst one I've ever bought. It came off of Lindar's radio, and apart from the fact they wrapped it so badly I needed to panel beat the case, it was absolutely filthy and very corroded. So this last couple of weeks I've just been spending an hour every so often scrupulously cleaning the chassis. All of the valve covers, the alloy valve covers, the screening cans have all been polished. The crystals have all been polished. The pre-select tuning capacitor was short circuit, so that's all had the vanes adjusted, so it's not short circuit, and that's all been scrupulously cleaned. Likewise, the inside of the PA cage has been cleaned, and it had a broken VFO drive, so the VFO drive has been replaced, and that's quite a game. All the bits I could take off easily have all gone through the ultrasonic bath. So now it's going to end up being the cleanest one I've got, from being the most disgusting. So then all I've got to do is make the damn thing work. So that's been that game. Something I'll save for a future over, but something to think about. Something that's been flying about on Twitter today is a bunch of hams trying to come up with a complete phonetic alphabet for which every letter is a type of biscuit. So there's something to think about. And then the only ones we've got missing now are X, Y, and Z. But we've got a biscuit for every other letter of the alphabet, so we've almost completed the biscuit phonetic alphabet. Anyway, shows how mad we all are. Other things, it's good to see that Nobby's got off Rockall alive. I've known the man a very long time, and I'm not going to lie, I was very worried about him out there. Very worried indeed. I never managed to work him. Never in the right place at the right time, and when I could hear him quite well, the pile-up was so ridiculous. Even all knobs to the right round here, I couldn't break the pile-up. That's just one of those things. I'm not going to whinge about that. He had a million people calling him. I'm just glad he's safe. So that's my over for this time round. Everybody's a really good signal tonight. It's nice to hear everybody nice and clear. Round to you, Dave. G6NRH, G0UKN in the group.
G0UKN, G6NRH returning. Yes, all copied there, guys. Yeah, good luck with that radio. It sounds like you're definitely making onwards performance with that. It just seems, oh dear, they're lovely old radios. And yeah, Mark, your radio as well. I suppose I'm like with Guy, I'm not really all that keen on Kenwoods, but they are a beautiful radio. And I do love the audio on the radio. Your audio is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I can't say about any old radios, because the only one I've got is the FT101B, but until I get that one sorted, I've got to sort out for some reason why I can't get it on top band. But I keep putting things off. I'm one of the world's greatest procrastinators. I think, well, I've got this and everything seems to be all hunky-dory. Well, I'll live with it and sort it out, but I'm going to definitely try and do it sometime in this month and get the thing, take it down and see what's happening. It's most probably where the wafer is. It hasn't quite made a contact and it's not quite doing the trip. It's got all the crystals in there, so it just seems to be one of those things which I'll get round to one day. Yeah, it's nice to hear everybody and Mark, and also it's nice to hear about Nobby. That he's off. I did try and work him a few times and I could not get him at all. Maybe it's just my location here, and but as you say, I'm glad he's off for obvious reasons, and I suppose his missus is quite pleased as well. So I don't know when he actually left. I suppose it'll take him at least a couple of days if he left, say during if he left on the Sunday, then it's going to be at least a couple of days before he gets in, unless he's in already. But anyway, with that, I won't hold it. I'll pass it over to you, Laurie, and you're a fine vessel, dear, fine vessel. Oh, that was another thing, is that when I was listening to Mark, he seemed to be about 5Ks off. And then when I listened to Laurie, he was about 5Ks the other way. But it's just one of those things. It seems to be still hearing, but I just keep quickly retuning it and see how it goes. But anyway, that's old radios for you. All right, mate, I'll pass it over to you. G4, Foxtrot Alpha Alpha, Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel in the group.
Great. Yeah, Roger from G6NRH, Golf 4, Foxtrot Alpha Alpha. Returning. Yeah, a couple of things. I've been watching you all on Hack Green, and so far the only one that's making it is you, Dave, NRH. But there we go. I certainly can't see myself on it. Yeah, I too failed to work Nobby, although I did listen on all the spot frequencies that were published as they came up. I did hope that I'd get him on 14005, I think, on CW, but again, there were plenty of CW signals all clustered around that frequency, but I couldn't pick him or his mate out of the background. So all in all, a bit of a disappointment. I did ask him if he'd be prepared to hook one of his HF rigs up to the rigging of the yacht, but he came back, said he was too knackered, and he said he was throwing up all the time. Apparently he's not a good sailor, and didn't know about that. In the past, I've done it. The backstay of a yacht is typically 30 feet, 35 feet, and it's quite easy to clip to it directly and then bung another lead over the side to take advantage of the superb earth that seawater makes. And whether it's inefficient aerial or not is fairly immaterial, because usually if you're way out on the sea, the sea signals, of course, are pretty good. You don't get too much noise. Right, anyway, enough of this. So I failed to work him. Also, I attended Luton, as everyone probably knows. I met one or two of you there. But all in all, it was a bit of a disappointment and barely worth the effort of going. I guess in my old age I'm going off rallies. What else have I got here to mention? Oh yeah, fine to you guys, fine on the KW2000. Yeah, I've got a 2000B here that I'm slowly but surely trying to improve, but I'm pretty sure in the end it'll come down to a filter repair. But that's for the future or sometime never. Right, no WMR tonight, so he's probably on his holidays in Jersey or something, so pass it on to you, Dave. Yeah, incidentally, your audio was extremely good, in spite of the fact it turned out I had the Q multiplier switched on this receiver. Without the Q multiplier, it would have been superb. M0WDT. M0WDT. I've got DTs. To take Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha in the group, over. Break. Go ahead, the break. Mike 0 Kilo Uniform Kilo. Mike 0 Kilo again.
Kilo Uniform Kilo. Good evening, guys. Jacob at this end.
Yeah, I just didn't get the call sign. Hi, Jacob. I thought it was you. If you get taken over after Mark, JCF. Yeah, round to you, Dave.
Yeah, Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Tango in the group. All received, Laurie. And everyone before that. Thanks for the auto reports on the safety settings, and hopefully it will stay the same. And usually, as usual, I'm running the 30 watts into it's an inverted L with a loading coil about 2/3 of the way along. Probably about 30 metres, I suppose, in physical length. And it probably tunes about 35, 40 kcs wide with the net in the centre. So it's a dedicated top band net antenna. I must admit, I don't really come down on top band much to listen because it's so much noise. But as Dad says, it actually seems quite reasonable this evening. Yeah, it's good to hear Nobby's back safe. I think he left on Friday, didn't he? Left Rockall on Friday. I did try to contact him on, I think 20 metres SSB and even some FT8, but the FT8 I had trouble picking him up because there's a lot of, it was fading in and out, and in the SSB there was so much QRM and just such a huge pile up. I don't think I've heard anything like it. I'm not surprised I didn't get through just running 100 watts because I expect there were some stations there with running quite a bit more power, but doesn't matter anyway. I'm sure I'm not really a DXCC chaser anyway, so it doesn't really it's just not too bad. But anyway, yeah. Evening, Jakob. Your signal report to me is a 5 and 9, and yeah, that's it. I'll pass it on to Dav now. Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Victor from Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Tango.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. M0WDT, M0WDV in the Cray Valley top band net. And good evening, Jakob. You're 5 and 9 plus 10 to me. Nice signal. Yes, I'll echo people saying that glad that Nobby's home. You know, it was a very dangerous thing that he did, I thought. Everyone I spoke to about it said, what a nutcase. But it's amazing what he's done, you know. It's an amazing achievement, but highly dangerous, but so glad that he's made it back. So yeah, he left the Rock on Friday, I understand. It took him a couple of days. His boat got back in to the west coast of Scotland yesterday, and I think I saw him tweet something saying he was planning to book a flight. He originally was going to get a lift back, but he's decided to get a flight back to this neck of the woods today, so maybe he's already back here by now. I didn't check Twitter to see if he's been posting any more messages, but yeah, I did manage to work him once on 40 metres sideband. That was it. I mean, I made other attempts. I tried to contact Emil on CW and failed. It sounded like, you know, they were getting massive pile-ups, and it was going to be very lucky to get through. I was probably one of the first ones to get through. I just happened to be awake on that first night, and I saw Bob posting into WhatsApp that he'd spoke to him. And this was only not long, just minutes after he'd started transmitting, and he wasn't even doing split at that point. And I saw the WhatsApp message, and I jumped on it straight away, jumped out of bed. You know, I was sort of just scrolling on my phone in bed. I thought, no, I'm not going to wait, not going to miss the opportunity. Went downstairs and, you know, made contact with him more or less first try, because at that point it wasn't yet crazy. You know, the word hadn't yet gone out. So yeah, I consider myself lucky to have that in my logbook. And yeah, somebody mentioned sporadic E. I think it was Mark. I noticed Bob saying on WhatsApp today that there was some sporadic on 2 meters. When he said that, I tuned it to 2 meters and dialed up and down the dial and didn't hear anybody. But then again, I don't have a Yagi; it's just a vertical, so it would probably be quite difficult for me to get any weak signals on 2 meters, even beyond the sort of local area. But I don't know. Who knows with sporadic I suppose. I've not been doing this that long, so I'm not really very experienced. So I don't know what to expect. But unfortunately, that was a flat shot. But speaking of WhatsApp, Frank did post a message as well, and maybe you've seen it, Guy, but if not, he was just saying that he's not going to be able to make the top band net because he's not at home at the moment. So I thought I'd pass that on. And also a quick question for Dave, perhaps when you can, when it's you're over, sorry, Dave, for NRH. Are we going to the cafe on Thursday? Is there a cafe meeting this Thursday morning? And if so, which venue is it? If you could let me know, I would appreciate that. What else have I got? Have I got anything else? I don't think I've got anything else. So with that, I'll pass it round to Mark. Mike, Romeo 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0, Whiskey Delta Victor.
Yeah, M0, WDV, MR0, JCF returning on the Cray Valley, first of the month, top band net, which I'm recording and will stick on YouTube as per usual now. Not answering, but just letting Dave know, I'll go along with everyone else. Your audio is superb. Also, the fact that you're wrapping the needle round the stop means absolutely no noise can get in around the sides, above you, below you, or any other way into my radio. So, but it does sound very good. And as I think it was Guy said, it's very full. It has got nicely rounded. It's not over bassy, it's not over trebly. There's no hiss, etc. But then once again, the signal's so strong. Jakub, very good evening as well. I think you're probably, I didn't look at the meter, but you're going to be around the plus 40 area as well, maybe just under. Sporadic E, 2 meters. Well, I know on Sunday the MUF was up around, or I don't know about the MUF, but certainly there was sporadic E up into the broadcast band of VHF. So it was definitely around 100 megahertz or thereabouts, because broadcast stations were coming in from the Netherlands, Belgium, France, and that's an indicator. I too on Sunday, or was it yesterday, Monday, can't remember. No, today's Monday, isn't it? I'm an idiot. So it was Sunday yesterday. I did switch on the Trio. I got the Trio TR9000 and swung the beam through the complete 360 degrees and didn't hear anything, SSB or FM, specifically SSB I was looking for, but didn't hear anything. I did put calls out for 10 minutes on 144-300 upper sideband and never got any replies, and I went round all the compass points, starting at south, doing southeast, east, south, northeast, north, so on, back round to south while calling, and nothing returned. Now I was only using 10 watts. I wasn't using a linear, but with the gain of the antenna, I'm expecting at least 40 to 60 watts out ERP. But what do I know? I mean, I've never measured it. I'm only going by what Dave ZZK said when he sold me the antenna. There was another thing that I was going to mention. Oh yeah, Nobby. Yeah, I'm glad that he did what he did. I'm glad that, he ticked all the boxes there, and I'm glad in some ways that all I did was heard him. Now, I will come to another side subject, but I went away on Thursday from the club. Obviously, everyone went on the back walk. I didn't go on the back walk. I hung back for another 15 minutes. chewing the fat with a few of them in the radio room. And then I went home, went on the radio, tuned, heard these massive pile-ups. So I knew he was 10 to 5 below the pile-up. And sure enough, I went there and I could hear him. I mean, he was perfectly readable. I think I even posted up on the WhatsApp group a very small snippet of Nobby calling. And, you know, I mean, but when you went 5 to 10 up, I mean, the pile up was immense. Now, I did give it about 10 minutes. I did call him probably a dozen times, at least a dozen times, and I didn't get anywhere. And those that know me now that know I don't do pile-ups anymore, it was just an opportunity. I thought, well, why not? But as I was explaining to Dav in the club earlier in the evening, you know, I just don't, I'm not too bothered about IOTA per se. If I work IOTA, you know, I'll always, and I know they're on an island, I'll always ask them for the number and I'll note it down in the paper logbook, but I don't chase IOTA. I mean, there are literally thousands of inhabited islands around the world that I'm probably never going to work, let alone, you know, a rock in the North Atlantic. I'm just not that precious about it. I mean, I belong to the Work to All Britain Club, and, you know, I've got one of their logbooks and everything, and half the time I actually forget to get people's WAB numbers. I was talking to a bloke at a castle in Wales on Saturday. He was out he was doing POTA, you know, and I looked him up, or I looked the POTA number up, and it was a castle somewhere in the middle of Wales, and, you know, like there was the WAB number, but I didn't even ask him for it, and it's one that I haven't got in the book, you know. I ticked it anyway, you know, because I'm not chasing awards and that. So that's my story with Nobby. Laurie, I got your message about the valves. I really do appreciate you doing that for me. As I say, if there's any there that, you know, you think that are useful, you know, just dip in, take a some, and just let me know what you've done. I have got another box of B9A valves, loads of them. I think they're mainly TV related valves, so, you know, they might not be too much use to people. Yeah, so we'll see when we get round to them. That said as well, I have got stacks and stacks of Octal, Loctal, you know, those flavoured valves going right back to the 1920s. So I know this is a very small audience now, but if anyone needs anything a bit oddball, have a word with me first before you dive into eBay and that, because I may have it what you want. I'm not planning on keeping the huge stash of valves I've got any longer. I will start knocking them out, so, you know, grab them while you can. They're mainly sort of from broadcast receivers, etc. So, you know, there's going to be nothing specifically transmitting wise. Anything that was like 6146, etc. Too late. I've already had them. They're in my stash. And, yeah, the only other thing, the guy talking about the KW2000, well, those that know that I've also bought one. I bought one on eBay, a KW2000 with power supply. I paid 150 quid for it, so I bought it blind. I have no idea. UPS have got it at the moment. I'm still waiting for them to deliver it, and hopefully I'll have that up and running soon. And the only other radio I've bought is FT757GX. It's about the 7th one I've ever owned, so apparently I like GXs, so I've bought one of those. I'm expecting that to turn up anytime this week, and of course that one will have AM on it, so I'll be able to use it on the top band net next month. And I've sold my TS-220S, no, 520S, my TS-520S, the one that I used on the top band net last month. And if you remember, it suddenly went off air. It was just a blown fuse. There was nothing nefarious. I got it all working, and I used it on 40 meters quite extensively the last week, and that's now been sold. That's gone to a new home. Has the FT1. I just couldn't get on with it. It just wasn't floating my boat. It didn't matter how much I used it and how much I played with it. I'm afraid it just wasn't doing it for me. So I sold it for what I paid for it, and it's gone off to a real enthusiast that actually wants one from back in the day, rather than I bought one out of I'm not going to say sympathy, but you know what I mean. You know how I bought it and why I bought it. Round to you now, Jakob. But you know you're an M0, aren't you? I've nearly elevated you to G0 then. M0 KUK from M0 JCF in the Cray Valley Top Band Net.
M0 KUK returning to the group. Good evening, guys. Nice to hear you. I'm happy I made it. Especially that the net is... there are more of us here on the net than there was us on the 2-meter net, which is an interesting thing to observe. But good to be there. So just to give some reports, everyone is 5'9", plus something, either 20 or 40, so really good strong signals there. And no issues with audio. Mark, the only thing, you are like 60 hertz below the frequency with me, and I don't know whether it's something on my end or something else. Otherwise, you're sounding really great, and no issues whatsoever. Yeah, plus 40 on the meter. I'm using just an NSET half-wave. To be frank, I can't even tune it properly. When I tried to do that, it was around 3.5 on the SWR meter. So I turned down the power as much as I can, so I probably keep it really short. And yeah, I'm making the trip, probably with something around 5 watts. Something new for the day. As for the lobby, yeah, I was lucky enough. When I woke up, I saw a message on WhatsApp, so many thanks for the message there, where he is and that he's that he's there. I almost broadcasting after the meeting we had when we had a lot of laughs on the GB23C, when there were a lot of articles about us broadcasting, and somehow it stuck with me. So I heard him and effectively spent like 45 minutes eating breakfast, preparing for work, but giving him a call from time to time when I heard he's calling. And suddenly I was almost to resign, and he said M0, and I jumped in again and somehow made it through the pile-up, especially after the second call when he said M0K. So it was my chance and used that opportunity. So a little bit of luck, a little bit of being stubborn, and yeah, made the trip there. Interesting thing to see how the pile-up worked, and effectively a good learning opportunity to listen how he handled it, because that's something unforgettable. Like with this kind of massive pile-up, I recall myself struggling with GB23C, which was nothing compared to that. And yeah, a lot of experience, a lot of good operating skills. Great here, and happy that he's back on mainland here with us. Okay, I won't mumble and ramble much more. Probably I just let you know that during the last weekend I made a quick project with ESP 8266, so a small Arduino related board, but with built-in Wi-Fi, and I connected 2 voltmeters to it and change the plate simply to present solar flux index and K index. So now I'm having the ability to look and have a nice analog scale to see what are the conditions on the band, and if I feel like there is a good opportunity, I can simply jump in if I'm around. Okay, with that, I pass it back to the top. I don't know whether, Guy, you're on top, but I'll pass it to you. G0UKN and 0KUK.
Anyone copy G3WMR?
Yeah, G3WMR. Yeah, got you there, Frank. Do you want to take an over and then put it back to me?
Yeah, okay, from G3WMR. I've been having trouble. First of all, I was transmitting into dummy load. I wonder why I didn't hear anyone at 8 o'clock, and about 10 past 8, I started hearing people when I realised that I was switched to antenna B and not antenna A. But antenna A doesn't seem to like tuning up tonight, but the auto-tune is coping with it now. The other thing was, I went on my other rig, my 897, to see if that was any better. And of course, that was still set to splits because of Nobby. And I must get that. I put VFO equals VFOA equals VFOB, and that solved that problem. But that's I forgot to take it off splits. I didn't manage to work Nobby, but I should have worked right at the beginning when he first got there. That was the time when that was the best time. Unfortunately, my 40-meter aerial is end on to Rockall, so he was never a very good signal with me anyway. And then on the Thursday night, with all that lunacy, there were so many bright sparks, all shouting 10 up, 5 up, 10 down even, that even if one had got answered, it probably would have coincided with somebody transmitting on Nobby's frequency. So anyway, brilliant. Can't wait to chat with him in person and find out more. I guess he's probably nearly home by now. I don't know. The boat's been in. It was in this morning anyway when I checked. So he's probably on his way back down south, I should think. It looks like my aerial's all right at the moment, and I'm using a desk mic now instead of the hand mic. But the hand mic wasn't giving me any hum this time, not like last month. So. Back around to you, Guy. G0UKN and the net G3WMR.
Yeah, G3WMR, G0UKN returning. Yeah, no problem, Frank. Sorry about your trials and tribulations, but you're 5.9 plus now, no problem at all. Probably the most armchair copy I've heard you, and I think that's pretty much the same for everybody. It's a really, really nice, signals are just good tonight. Probably because we are in daylight. We'll go down the list once more, and then we'll go to AM after this one, and we'll have a go on AM. So I've got a feeling the signals might be really good on AM as well. Congratulations to Dav and to you, Jakob, for working Nobby. As I said, I tried on 15 metres and he was very weak. One of the first days he was on, and then that Thursday night it was absolute pandemonium when he was on 40-metre sideband, and I wound the amplifier up to as much as I could get out of it. It's only 400 watts, honest. And a little bit like you, Frank, it's a little. My antenna it fires east-west. My 40-metre dipole, But at the same time, with that sort of distance, most of it's going to go up in the air anyway and then come back down. So not sure I'm too worried about that. It's more around, it was just sheer weight of pile-ups. But it can't be helped. Lorry FAA, you're on frequency now. You were a little bit off on the first over, but you were fine on that over. Yeah, Mark, JCF, fine on getting rid of the FT1 and the 520. I can't say I blame you on the FT1. I won't be selling this FT1. It will be part of my silent key sale when that time comes. I will always keep it because it is the original one that Mal had in the 80s, and he left it to me in his will. So there's no damn way I'm parting company with it. It won't be sold. So I'll be keeping this FT1 and doing my best to keep it on the air for him. It doesn't seem too bad at the moment, but that said, I haven't switched it on for a couple of weeks, so it'll probably play silly buggers again. As regards the 520, well, they are what they are. You could get another one if you missed it. And as far as the FT757, they're very usable, the FT757. We've got one over at the Club Shack, and it gets pulled out for courses and things. And they're great. I always feel that they're like the best CB rig ever built. They were one of the first, along with the ICOM 720A, etc., one of the first sort of mobile-sized rigs with general coverage, and they work very, very well indeed, and they don't sound too bad. And yeah, they used to work well on 11 metres. But ho-hum, another day, another world, another era. But yeah, look forward to working you on that. The only thing I would say, the bandpass filters weren't great in them, and yeah, you look at the harmonic content of an FT757, and it does make your toes curl a bit. They're not very clean. But there you go. Right, okay, I will pass it to Dave NRH. Apologies because I haven't been writing stuff down, and I haven't been looking at Hat Green or any of the others tonight, because I've just, my phone's sort of actually out of batteries. Anyway, we'll go down the list quickly again, and then after I hear WMR on the next over, I will be then coming back to you all on AM. So, and we can do a couple of overs on AM. So G6NRH, G0UKN.
G0UKN, Golf 6, November Romeo Hotel. Yeah, all copied there, Guy. Yeah, nice to hear you've got the FT1. I quite like them. I just thought they were amazing little radio. Well, big radios, they weren't small, were they? And, yeah. And Mark not getting on with it. I suppose, yeah, horses for courses, because I know you like your Kenwood. Yeah, I've always been a Yaesu boy, and I just think they're lovely radios. There's something about them. I mean, they just seem to go on and on and on. And point in question, I suppose you could say, is the FT101. I mean, it's just, they just keep going. And they're just a lovely radio. And they have their problems, like all radios. But I just love them. I love the way they sort of operate. Because I wish I could sort this one out for Top Band, which hopefully I should do this month. I won't hold it because it's getting there during that time. And I say good evening, Jacob. I don't think I've said good evening. I think you're 5 and 9. Your signal is a bit. No, you're 5 and 9, but the audio to me seemed a bit low. Frank, you are 5 and 9 plus. 5 and 9 plus 30. You really lovely signal. Anyway, I won't hold it. Quickly pass it over to Dave. No, it's to Laurie. Sure, sorry. Over to you, Laurie. G4 Foxtrot Alpha Golf 6 November Romeo Hotel in the group.
Roger, Golf 6 November Romeo LG4SAA returning to the group. Okay, a couple of things. I couldn't read Yakov at all. I could just tell he was there, but I couldn't read him, which is a bit funny. My G5RV is in fact aligned almost exactly north-south, so that might have something to do with it. But there's enough wire there scattered all over the place, apart from the north-south bit, to pick up a bit of signals, but no joy. To you, Frank, WMR, yeah, I know the feeling. Sometimes when I'm trying to drive this conglomeration of radios here, I need 15 hands, but time and again in the past I've found myself making a stupid error. Old age and decrepitude, as G6HD used to say. No Frank FDP tonight, which is a surprise. And to you, Mark, JCS, yeah, okay. Well, the testing the valves is time consuming, but it would be useful if you could dig out all the 6-volt bottles, ECC 81, 82, 6B, 6, 6B, A6, and that sort of all KW stuff. Even 6146s I can test to an extent. But we can build up a local stockpile of KW bottles that could be useful, because eventually, of course, they're going to be 150 quid each. But perhaps after my time. There we are. What's something else I've got here to mention, but as usual, it has escaped me, so hopefully pass it on. M0WDT to take the Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha and the group, over.
Golf 4 Foxtrot Alpha Alpha, Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Tango. Yeah. Evening, Frank WMR. You're a great signal. 5 and 9 plus 20. Yeah, really good signal from everyone this evening. Quite surprising. Yeah, the 2 metre thing. I swung the beam round south east this evening after Bob's message. Well, about half an hour after. And nothing on SSB. However, on FT8 I was picking up exchanges with G's and Italian stations. And I did call secure on FT8 a few times, and the PSK reporter website is actually showing me getting picked up around that area, sort of Sicily. Unfortunately, no contact. Yeah, there was definitely something going on there. But unfortunately, I think I caught the tail end of it, and so didn't really make any contact. Mark, it seems a real shame to get rid of all those valves, but I guess if you need to make some space. Here's something that interests me. I've always thought about making something with valves, but I must admit I've never actually used one. I guess as time goes on and they get more and more rare, that's probably unlikely to happen as well. That's all I've got to add. So I'll just pass it on now to Dav. Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Victor, or Mike 0 Whiskey Delta Tango.
Yeah, all copied there, Dave. M0WDT, M0WDV. And I agree, those valves are going to be valuable to someone, aren't they? But I guess if they're not, they're just taking up space and you just need to get rid of them, then perhaps needs must. But I'm sure somebody might be. Is it worth putting a notice in the club newsletter, perhaps? Just a thought. Anyway, and question for Jakob. That's an interesting little project with your little microcontroller driving the. Presume the microcontroller is using the Wi-Fi to connect to the internet to get the solar flux index and the K index, and then it's driving a digital analog converter to drive the meters. So you've got your analog needle showing the values, which sounds like a cute little thing to have on your shack desk. Just wondering how you're doing the digital analog, because there's no DAC built into the ESP8266. Are you using like a pulse width modulation or like a external I2C digital analog converter? Just curious what you're doing there, Jakob. Oh yeah, biscuits. Yeah, it's going back a few overs. So, Guy, you were saying how somebody was trying to get the biscuit names for A to Z. Well, X, Y, Z. I asked ChatGPT, and this is what it came up with. It said Xavier's Delight, and then for Y, Yogini's Yummies, and for Z, Zesty Zingers. But then it went on to say. This biscuit name may be fictional and not correspond to actual biscuit in existence, so I don't know if it has to be a real biscuit. Probably it does. So yeah, all right, I won't rabbit on this over because I know we want to get on to AM, but just a quick reminder to Dave and RH, if you could let me know what's happening with the cafe on Thursday, I appreciate it. Okay, microphone round to Mark, MR0JCF, M0WDV.
Yeah, M0WDV, MR0 Juliet Charlie Fox. Quickly then, I go through the last two reports. Jakob, an accurate report this time, 5 and 9 plus 10. Frank, G3 WMR, you're plus 20 to me, and your audio sounds fine as well. Answering the TS-830S, well, I've got 3 of them. So the working one, the one that I've been using the last 2 or 3 years, well, 3 years, yeah. You know, it was time to make way for the KW2000 and the 757GX. So I just sold it on, you know. It's a good working one. I've hammered it to death. I've worked plenty of DX on it, a sporadic E, top band nets and all sorts. So, you know, it was time to move it on, and then I've got space to actually work on the other 2 and get those working. 757GX, well, I think this is either my 6th or my 7th one, so they're not a new radio to me, but they are a lovely little radio. Totally agree. They are what the 7300, the IC 7300 has become now. You know, they are the, you know, as many out of band operators have got an IC 7300 as hams, I reckon, around the world, that is. And yeah, I mean, I've got one because it replaced my TS-830S, so another Kenwood. Yeah, I am a Kenwood Trio fan, but I have got Yaesu summer camps and God knows what else coming out my ear rolls. You know, it is what it is. We'll play with it in our way, don't we? There was another thing. Oh yeah, that was it. And it was meant to say it on my last over, but my last over got so long and rambling. Guy, thanks for that chat Thursday night. I actually enjoyed it. It was quite refreshing to you know, go into acoustics and stuff like that rather than RF. It was very, very nice to hear that. I didn't go on the back walk for 2 things. One, you know, it didn't like interest me beyond the, you know, the chat. I didn't want to walk around the woods because I was only in a t-shirt and shorts and it had got a bit chilly anyway, and I just didn't fancy that walking around the woods listening to clicks and whistles, as it were. So yeah, it wasn't a slur on you know, the hobby of, you know, back detecting, back, you know, back looking after and all the rest of it. It just, you know, just wasn't for me. We see them quite often as well, floating around my garden. I say floating, flying around my garden. So you know, and I am aware, you know, you mustn't collect them, you mustn't keep them as pets, you mustn't disturb them or anything like that. I remember once as a kid finding 2 bats hanging behind the notice board of the church hall where I was a Cub Scout. That was down in Cholton. I think it was either the 51st or the 52nd Greenwich. Swallowfield Road or Priolo Avenue, Priolo Road, something like that. But it's near Fosdene School. Guy, you're involved with them. You probably know that troop if they still exist. I'll imagine they do. But yeah, it was the Greenwich 51st or 52nd back in the late 60s, early 70s for me. And as I say, the other thing as well, I wanted to dive home at that last go at trying to contact Nobby. Well, we'll say the last go, it was the only go that I gave. And of course, we know how that ended. Around to you there, Jakub. M0 KUK, MR0 JCF.
MR0 JCF and 0 KUK returning to the group. Friend business there. Frank, you're coming 5'8" to me. And no clue why I'm not copied by Lorry. Might be that my NFET is north-south and it might be just there. Also, I don't want to crank up the power too much. I'll put it a little bit more. We'll see how it goes. But I definitely don't want to push the finals too much. It's Mark, for you mentioning that you want to get rid of the stuff. I believe that there might be some information in QA and this month after the silent key and the stuff that we will be selling. So might be worth checking with Bob if he wants to put something there. I believe that there will be some of us that might have use for that. I'm not there yet, so I don't know how to fully address and utilize that. Other than that, Dave, answering your question, I'm using PWN, a simple thing just to get the needles moving, and as for calibration right now, I mainly have it zeroed, fully zeroed. K-index seems to be alright on the scale. I used some maps to put the indexes there. For SSE, not really there, but I will work on this, and effectively I still need to box it, from Lorry, if you can hear me, with my more power right now, just out of curiosity, but I won't hold it as we want to move to AM. So I'll pass it to you, Frank. G3WFR and 0 KUK. I'm not hearing Frank. Is anybody else?
No, not me.
G3WMR. I hope I'm not doubling. An S9 noise has come up. An S9 noise has come up, which I was getting Jakub perfectly well until this S9 noise came up, and I'm not getting you either, Guy, with the S9 noise. So just got a tiny bit of you there when you said you're not hearing me. Anyway, I'm going to drop out. And I'll listen around on the AM, but there's no point in AM because this S9 local power supply or something's come on for the duration. It's obviously switched on when it got dark, so I'll leave you all to it. G3WMR.
Yeah, G3WMR, G0UKN. Okay, Frank. Sorry about that. I say, I was sitting here listening on the AM kit and had to frantically go and switch antennas to the 2000B and say, oh, where's Frank gone? But I wish you 7.3s. Many thanks for coming up, and we'll catch you next time if you're copying. 7.3s, mate.
Yeah, cheers. I'm just getting you there, Guy, but all the others are much stronger.
7.3, okay, G0UKN switching to AM.